Alright, welcome to Yin Yoga tonight, and we're going to hit the knees to the navel tonight, and we'll see what we can come up with. Let's start with a block, maybe sitting on a block. Come into wide seated pose to start with, and just tune in for a moment. Tune in particularly to this area between the knees and the navel. Notice how it feels tonight, whether it feels strong and upright or a little slumpy. Notice any areas of tension or discomfort. And bring all your yin background into tonight's training. Just work in the pain-free range of motion. Look for that delicious unfolding in each shape. Not trying to get to the destination in any way, just enjoying the journey of each shape, each pose. And as you exhale, bring that right hand behind the back, left hand crosses over the midline of the body, just into a very modest twist. Notice how that left thigh is impacted. And gently turn the head to the left. Notice the side of the neck. Exhale, gently release, come to center. Change sides. Bring the left hand behind the back. Left shoulder comes back. Sitting up tall. Right hand crosses. You can keep the chin over the chest. And then exhale the head to the right. Just feeling those initial twists in the body tonight. Inhale, neutral, release, notice. And notice if those twists change the sensitivity of that area tonight, knees to navel, front, back, and sides. If you have a strap handy, I'm going to recommend a strap. Now you can remain on the block or you can come off depending on your practice. I'm going to stay on the block. Bring that left foot over to the right side of your body so it's crossed over, left knee's pointing straight ahead. Preparing for shoelace pose, bring that right foot over the left leg so the right foot is on the left side of the body. So you have that strap. Now, the reason I sit on the block is it just gives me a nice stable base. If I was sitting straight on the mat, I would have, my pelvis would be slightly tilted. Now, if you feel that tilt in the pelvis, what I'm going to recommend is just use a blanket to even out the tilt a bit. So you get that nice stable sit bones, and really feel it's in the glute area here on each side of the body. Shoulders roll back and down. And have that sense of regalness in your posture. The head is uplifted. It can easily swivel from side to side. And just notice the outer glutes, the outer thighs. Make any adjustments if it's too intense. Close the eyes and slow the breath down. And in tonight's class, whenever you can, try the expanded breath in yoga, the Dirga Pranayama. And there's a couple of ways to get to the expanded breath. One is to take 3 small inhales and 1 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. So this slows the breath down, deepens the breath, and starts to train you for the expanded breath, which some people like to do as one continuous breath. Inhale, belly expands. Inhaling, ribs expand. Inhaling, collarbones lift and widen. Exhale, release. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling how you please, nose or mouth. And then check back in on the outer thighs. If it gets too much at any time, you can unlock your shoelace pose and come back and join us. Take the strap or the band over that right foot, which is on your left side, and bring the strap behind your back. And your right hand is going to grab the strap, pulling on that right foot behind your back. Now this is going to bring the right shoulder back, so we come back into the twist now. So right shoulder back, right hand walking down the strap towards that right foot. If you can hold the right foot with the right hand, by all means do, but once again without straining. Left hand crosses midline of the body. Feel this new shape, twisted shoelace. If any tension crept into the left shoulder, relax the left shoulder. And notice in twisted shoelace how your breathing is. Can you come back to your expanded breath or not? There will be a little extra effort needed to do so. The next exhale, turn the head to the left once again and relax that left shoulder. And just notice the outer thigh, particularly on the right thigh now. Notice how that's unfolding, unpacking its tension tonight. And just lift the corners of the mouth for a moment. Make sure I'm seeing you all enjoying this. Good, thank you. Now gently release that pose, and take your fingers and scoop the flesh from your belly in and up, and then hinge forward for a moment and bring your eagle talons onto the floor. Once again, noticing all these small shifts and variations of shoelace pose give you something extra to notice, to be with, to let go of. Start to walk your talons away, coming into a deeper forward fold. If you want to, you can drop your forehead down towards the knee. And once again, notice what it's like to breathe in this shape. And don't be afraid to breathe under pressure, developing the strength of those breathing muscles. And the inhale, you'll find, adds sensation to the stretch. 3 more breaths if you can. And then slowly walk the hands back. Let the hands pick you up. And untie your shoelace. You can extend the legs out if you like. Just creating a little relief in the legs. All right, let's try the other side. So this time bringing the right foot back first. Right foot on the left side of the body. Right knee perpendicular to the hips. And then the left knee crosses over. And sometimes you can experience cramping here at all. If you do, just change the shape and come out for a moment. Release the tension in the cramp. So give your hips time to acclimate to this slightly different cross. If the bottom knee for some reason doesn't have contact on the floor, feel free to prop it up with a blanket or a towel, bolster, or even a block. When you elevate the pelvis, it's going to tilt the pelvis slightly forward, which is ideal for your posture. Once again, give that little regal swivel of the head. Check out your subjects. You can even give a queen's wave if you like. And then try a twist to that left side. Bring the left arm behind the back, right hand crosses over. Just a modest twist. Notice that right shoulder doesn't jack up. Relax the right shoulder. Turn the head to the right. So I find a lot of the time in twisting, if you twist the neck in the opposite direction to the thoracic spine, it often avoids over twisting the neck and hurting the neck. Remember, the vertebrae in the neck are very fine. They're delicate. It's easy to hurt the neck. Exhale, release, grab your strap. Let's strap up the left foot this time. And you pull it back a little further so the strap can pull it back. Watch out any cramping there in that right groin. Left hand comes behind and holds the strap from behind. And that's going to bring the left shoulder back, so the twist once again to the left. Right hand crosses over. Now I say right hand crosses over. If you're pregnant, you'll keep that left hand on your right foot. Keep the belly open. Gently turn the head to the right. And just notice the extra sensation in the glutes, in the hips, the thighs. Relax that right shoulder. Eyes can be closed or open. Sometimes closing the eyes can be helpful to keep your attention on the mat, in the sensations of the body. Try your expanded breath here. In, in, in. Exhale, release. And sometimes on the exhale, you can use that as an invitation to deepen the twist, pulling on that strap a little tighter. In, in, exhale. And of course, if you know the Ujjayi breath, the ocean sounding breath, you can be practicing that through the class. Let's do 5 more breaths on this side. Deepening the twist either with the shoulder or the neck or both. Exhale, come back to neutral, releasing the strap. Notice the residue of sensation when you release the pose. Because we create stress on the joints, that residue can be simply the flooding of that area with blood sensation, the fascia being hydrated. So a lot can go on in that echo time. Scooping the flesh from the belly, back and up, hinge forward, eagle talons. Just notice how it is on this side of the body. Stay with the breath. And then you can walk your hands out if you like. Bring the head down towards the knee. Three more breaths here if you can. And then slowly bring yourself up. Release the legs. And we'll prepare for half dragonfly. So with half dragonfly, I like to still have the pelvis slightly elevated, but not so high. So take a blanket or a towel, maybe come into your burrito fold and bring it behind the pelvis. And a slight sit right on the edge to give you that forward tilt. And just watch any cramping here in the of the glute medius. It could be after all that work with the shoelace pose that might tighten up. Let's bring the left foot into the right thigh. Those who want to use a strap, by all means do so. I like to use a strap. Have a block handy if you're really flexible here in that forward fold. Sometimes bringing a block to represent the bottom of your foot gives you that extra reaching distance. Scoop the flesh from the right side of the belly, hinge forward, and start with a relaxed arm. Relaxed arm, relaxed torso. So it's an external rotation of the hip, different from what we just did. So the adductors are getting a little bit of an opening here, and the low back will feel this. Hamstring, calf muscle, toes curled back. Once you've established your Goldilocks point, baby bear porridge point, that's just right, you can hold, slow the breath down. Notice what it's like to come into Dirga Pranayama again. And using the exhale perhaps as an invitation to bring the left hand closer to the foot rather than the right hand. So you feel that crossover. The left hand creating a little more extension in that left lower back. If you have really tight hamstrings, you could prop up the back of the knee here with a cushion. Take a little bend in the knee so you still get the benefits of the forward fold to that right side without overly taxing the hamstring. And then gently come up. And take the strap into your left hand and lift it up above your head so you get this lateral flexion in the movement. And then have your hand, your left hand, start to gobble up the strap. It's like it starts to gobble it up, and that's going to allow you to drop your right ear closer to that right knee. Yeah, that's right. And you just feel that out. And every now and then bring that left elbow back and look up at the ceiling so you create a little more rotation and torque in the thorax, that thoracic cavity. Whew. And that should give you a lot of sensation there. And of course, coming into your expanded breath here is going to give you plenty of sensation. And then slowly come up. Once again, feel any lingering sensations as you come up. And then lift that left arm and reach with your right arm across and grab your kneecap this time. So you've crossed that right arm across the body. And then start to lift that left arm up again, coming over And as you walk down the strap, you'll start to feel that, well, you'll feel everything. You feel pretty much everything. So the goal here, and as I said, don't worry about the goal. Just let the journey unfold. With some of my colleagues I've seen there, they bring their right shoulder blade onto that right knee, so their whole back is looking up. They're looking up at the ceiling, lying on that leg, and that top hand is holding the toes. They must have telescopic arms to do that. And then slowly come up. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, hello. And if you're seeing colors that aren't there, you might not go so deep next time. All right, let's slowly bring that in, and we'll come into campfire pose for a moment and just tune into the hips, the thighs, the back, the neck. Turn the head left and right. All right, let's come into half dragonfly the other side, so that right knee is bent. So instead of the right knee being perpendicular like shoelace, it's out to that right side. Left leg extended. Turn the body towards that left leg. Scoop the flesh out of the way. With or without your strap, you can just come into that standard stretch. Notice your breathing on this side. Start to deepen the breath if you can. And this time the right hand tends to dominate in the reach, so you feel that opening up in a slightly twisted way. And once again, you can use the block at the base of that foot if you find your forward fold. You might have your head on your knee, you might have your arms extending beyond that foot. You can always use the block and wrap your fingers around the block. Once again, if the left hamstring is a little destroyed, prop up the knee. Five more breaths here if you can. And then make your way up carefully. Use the hands to lift you up. So the right hand this time is going to come up into the air, looking up, elbow over. Left hand can reach towards that foot. You can use the strap as a way to guide yourself a little deeper into the shape. Keeping that right shoulder back. Really feel that stretch deep down. I don't know, around the tensor fascia latae area on that right side. Three more breaths. Always come out gently, gradually, slowly, and check in with the lingering sensations. Just make sure nothing was overly taxed. Now, any variation we've done, you can come back to if you like. The next variation is where the left hand grabs the right knee, so we create that real crossover here, and then lifting up that left arm. So I love this one. It really works on the shoulder blades as well. And definitely your breathing will be challenging here to come into that expanded breath. In, exhale, release. Let's do 5 more breaths here. Now coming out slowly, use your arms to prop you up. Come into campfire pose and a little head rotation here, left and right. Coming back to internal rotation. Come onto all fours. Have your blanket handy. Blocks at the top of the mat. We'll start with a little cat and cow. Checking in on the spine. And then come, widen the knees, come into wide-kneed child pose for 5 breaths. Inhale, come back to tabletop and slide the right knee forward to the right wrist and slide the right foot underneath the left hip. Curl the toes of the left foot and walk your left knee back as many times as you can until your right thigh gets a delicious stretch. Delicious stretch. So you know that's preparation for pigeon. But we'll do something a little different here. Point the toes of the back foot. Walk your hands to the right and come onto your right thigh. So you're leaning into your right thigh. Left hand on the hip just so you really get that lean here. And bend the back knee 90 degrees. So the back leg's relaxed. And then push your your front foot. What is it? Your right foot, yeah. Your right foot up. Scoop the flesh out of the belly and come down onto your forearms here, over that front thigh. Just feeling that in the right thigh, right low back. I'm going to change my orientation so you can see what I'm up to. Really allow your torso to sink into that right thigh. Come back to your expanded breath. Come into eagle talons and walk your hands out away into deer pose. Your head can come all the way down to the floor if you like. Now walk the hands back, come back onto your elbows. And then walk your elbows to the right, like you're coming into twisted sphinx. Notice how that changes the stretch sensations in the waist, the hips. If you're overdoing it, you can change your shape. Again, I'm going to rotate a little more so you can keep an eye on what I'm doing. So I'm looking back at my right hip, right thigh. Now once again, you can come into eagle talons and walk your hands out on this side. Walk your hands back. Slowly come onto your elbows. Let's do a little head turn left and right. Make sure the neck is okay after that. And now walk your elbows as far to the left as you can. See if you can bring that right foot between your elbows. Walk the hands out, eagle stretch. And then slowly walk your way back, to center, extend the arms, and push into that right hand to lift that right hip off the ground. So you're coming back into your conventional pigeon here. Extend that left leg behind you, point the toes, come onto your elbows. If you'd like to prop your right hip up at this point with a blanket or a towel, do that. See if you can rest your head on something. It can be your fists, it can be your hands, it can be the mat. And notice the difference when the hip is off the ground in pigeon versus on the ground in deer pose. The different experiences of that external thigh and hip. And if being in pigeon pose on your belly is too much, you can always roll onto your back and just hold your leg into your ribs. All right, lift the head, bring the hands under the shoulders, curl the toes of the back foot, lift the knee and float that right foot back. Let's try plank for a moment. Push back through the heel bones, tuck the tailbone. Just let that right leg regain some blood flow. Drop the knees, wide knee child pose. And notice any residue on the right hip, right thigh. Come up to tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And start to take the tip of your nose and start to draw a big circle. Like you try and draw the biggest circle you can on the mat. Really big circle, bigger than a basketball. And relax your hips so you feel your hips tracing a circle as well, but your emphasis is on the nose drawing the circle. Just let the hips follow along. And then reverse direction from the nose, drawing the circle. Let the hips just come along in this opposite direction. And then pause, sliding the left knee forward, cross the right foot under the left foot under the right hip. Curl the toes of the right foot. Now walk your right knee back. Again, you're looking for that first delicious stretch in that left thigh this time. Walk your hands to the left. Left hand takes the weight. Left hip comes to the ground. Right hand on hip. And then you can push that left foot parallel to the top edge of the mat. Back leg can relax. So if you look at your legs, they form like this kind of Z shape almost. Scoop the flesh from the left side of the belly, come onto your elbows. Check in with that left thigh. And don't be afraid to really sink your torso into that thigh and breathe slowly and deeply. Let the expansion, let the lungs expanding add sensation to everything you're already feeling. Make any adjustments if you need to. Delicious discomfort is the goal here. Eagle talons. Reach the arms out. 2 more breaths here. Gently walk the hands back. Come onto your elbows. Come into twisted sphinx. Walking your elbows to the left. Looking back at your left thigh. Eagle talons, and walk your arms out when you're ready. Walk your hands back, and then walk your elbows all the way around towards that left foot. I'll rotate so you can see. So the twist is in the complete opposite direction. This will bring a lot of sensation into your left thigh. And then walk the hands out. Let's do 5 breaths here. Slowly walk back, lean back into your hands, extend the legs in front of you, and you can tap those legs out a little bit, shake the feet side to side like windscreen wipers. Loosey-goosey thighs. Wow, external rotation. So we've kind of flip-flopped. Internal rotation, shoelace, external half. Dragonfly. Again, that was internal rotation with deer pose and pigeon pose. Did I forget pigeon at the end? I think I forgot pigeon at the end there. Oh dear. Let's come back and finish off with pigeon. So what was that? That was left knee to left wrist. Left foot underneath, walk the foot back. Nice stretch and come down into your pigeon just to finish off. And then come on up. Come into plank. Let's do plank for a bit. Tuck the tailbone. Drop the knees. Come into wide knee child pose. Inhale, come up. Come onto all fours. If you're on a hard floor, you might bring your blanket out to the side. Come onto your belly into television watching pose and bring that right knee and right ankle onto your blanket or towel on the side. External rotation of the hip. And let's come straight into goalpost arms here. Head turned towards the bent knee. If at all the head or neck feels uncomfortable, you can stack the hands and rest your forehead on stacked hands. If you're okay with it, bring the left arm behind the back, half bind, relax the left arm. Let the weight of the left arm sink down into the low back. And then bring the right arm back, double half bind, relax both shoulders, feel the weight of the arms sinking into your low back. Come back to half frog, goalpost arms. Stay in goalpost arms and turn the head to the opposite direction. Bring the right hand onto the back. And then the left. Release the hands, stack the hands on top of each other, rest the forehead on the hands. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Roll from temple to temple. Prop yourself up, elbows under shoulders, close enough so the hands can reach the upper arms. If you want to go deeper, flare the hands out to the edges of the mat. Bring the elbows back a little deeper towards your ribs. And then carefully straighten the arms. Come down when you're ready. Bring that knee back in and bring the blanket to the other side. So now your left knee will be on the blanket. And you can come into goalpost arms on this side, noticing how this feels. Half frog. External rotation of the left hip. Right leg in triple extension, point the toes. Bring the right hand back into half bind. Sometimes when your right ear is on the mat, you can hear your heartbeat. Bring the left hand behind, half bind. Relax shoulders. Release the arms and turn the head in the opposite direction. Bring the left arm to the low back. Relax the shoulder. And then the right arm. Release the hands and stack the hands under the forehead. Tuck the chin towards the chest and roll from temple to temple. Prop the elbows under the shoulders. If you'd like that deeper back bend, draw the elbows back a bit, flare the hands out to the side, and straighten the arms carefully into seal. And then bring your elbows down, bring that knee back in underneath you, stack the hands, and just notice how the hips and thighs feel at the end of practice today. Bring the hands under the ribs. Come up onto the shins. You can sit on a block here if you like. We're going to come into Vajrasana. Palms face up. And just notice how from the knees to the navel feel tonight. That whole girdle area and thigh area. As you bring your hands together in gratitude for our practice and each other's company. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Very nice.